Darrell Ellis created a large body of work that shifts between drawing, painting, and photography. Many of his drawings, for example, are based on family photographs taken by his father or portraits of him taken by photographer friends. The artist in turn photographed his drawings and then drew on the surface of these photographic prints, such as the one included in this exhibition. This relationship between drawing and photography goes back to the inception of photography. In fact, Henry Fox Talbot, the 19th century British pioneer in photography, produced the first book illustrated with photographs and titled it The Pencil of Nature. I think that this would be an engaging subject for group exhibition, and recently I've noticed a number of young artists who are going to great lengths with pencil on paper to achieve the look of photography. I'm curious to see if there is a correlation between this trend and the proliferation of digital photography. I first encountered Maria Elena Gonzalez's work in 1991 when I was working as a curatorial intern at the New Museum, and her work was included in the group exhibition titled Cadences. She has maintained her affinity with the specific textures and qualities of materials, although she is now working on much larger scale. Much of her recent work relates to the human body, and these tiled objects suggest the architecture of the bathroom, perhaps a pair of stools for a couple to carry out their simultaneous ablutions. I would like to see a project in which artists work with furniture designers and fabricators to produce a series of affordable artist-designed domestic furnishings. Although a number of artists are already producing objects of this sort, they're usually one of a kind and produced in very small editions. Renee Green's work is a fragment from a larger project titled Partially Buried of 1996. By appropriating a recent fashion advertisement which includes a copy, a tribute to the haircut that refuses to lie down, the artist suggests that a revolutionary stance can be recycled as style. For some time now, I've been thinking about an exhibition that deals with how historical artifacts have been appropriated and reified as symbols that fit a particular narrative of U.S. history. I would like to assemble a collection of artworks that play off of Americana, the kind of artifacts, documents, and ephemera found in the collection of the Smithsonian Institution, the local historical house, and even the flea market. In addition to Renee Green, I would like to include works by artists such as Barbara Bloom, Glenn Ligon, Katie Nolan, Paul Ramirez-Jonas, and Fred Wilson, who replicate the objects and presentation of American material culture in order to complicate the prevailing historical accounts. These works would be installed in cabinets, cases, and vitrines in the manner of a historical museum, and perhaps artists would be commissioned to create period rooms. Renee Green's Partially Buried installation in the back room of Pat Hearn Gallery would serve as a good example of a late 1960s period room. Perry Hoberman submitted his project as a text describing his idea for Edison recreation, rather than as a slide of a finished work. Interesting artworks often exist as ideas in the artist's mind until there is an opportunity to realize them, such as the invitation to participate in a group exhibition. Sometimes the curator has only seen a proposal and does not actually see the work until it is being installed in the exhibition. They have to trust the artist's idea. This particular work by Hoberman uses recent technology to recover an earlier mode of sound reproduction. This combination of old and new sound technologies, analog and digital, could perhaps form the basis of an exhibition project involving artists such as Angela Bullock, Paul DeMarinis, Stan Douglas, Charles Long, Alvin Lucier, and Gordon Monahan, among others. If the exhibition were to take a historical perspective, then I would also include Moholy-Nagy, John Cage, and Fluxus works. Over the past decade, there have been a number of interesting sound exhibitions in Europe, but they are rare in the U.S. I'm not very familiar with this particular work by Sam Kuntz, but it takes the form of a minimalist cube, albeit one made out of cement with moss growing out of it. Inducing moss to grow in a cube in a gallery setting is not unlike some of the unnatural feats that horticulturalists are able to achieve. There are quite a number of artists who are introducing and cultivating plant life in the gallery environment. I would like to reverse this equation by approaching a botanical garden to collaborate with 6 to 8 artists such as Mel Chin, Mark Dion, Skauman Hostenan, Paula Hayes, Olaf Nicolai, and Meg Webster. I'm interested in exploring new opportunities for artists outside the conventional institutions of art, and it would be exciting to see a botanical garden working closely with artists and offering their expertise and resources.